Hey there, Greg Flaherty here with Penny Realty. So today we want to talk about homeowner and landlord insurance. So many of you might right away be thinking, oh my gosh, that's boring. It's not boring. It's exciting. It's interesting nowadays because it's a hot commodity. It's hard to get. A lot of cancellations going on. So I brought with me for today Dane Scharetg. Dane is our local resident expert in insurance. He's with Goosehead Insurance, and I use him to write our homeowner policy. Many of our clients here at Penny Realty have used Dane to get insurance. And one of the beauties about Dane is he's a broker, means he can shop a lot of different companies and find you the best coverage at the best price. And so welcome aboard, Dane.
Thanks.
Glad to have you here with us. And so first question for you is, what's going on? Why are all these companies canceling people or giving notices of non-renewal?
California has a difficult regulatory framework for insurance companies to work within. There's a law that voters passed back in 1988 that limits insurance companies' ability to increase their rates without getting prior approval from the insurance commissioner, in short.
So they passed a law that put a cap on it, and insurance companies can't live with that cap.
That's right. Because of inflation, right?
Yeah.
The cost of everything has gone up. The cost of construction's gone through the roof. Insurance companies need to charge more because the cost of paying claims has increased, and the frequency and scope of weather-driven events like fires and tornadoes and hurricanes has increased, and insurance companies find themselves sandwiched between not being able to increase rates and having to pay more expensive claims.
Okay.
So they have to raise the rates. If they're told that they can't raise the rates, they just say, we can't do business here.
Okay, so here's a question a lot of our new clients at Penny Realty have. They want to come on board, they want us to manage their property, and we say, okay, get us a landlord insurance policy. And they kick back and they give us their homeowner policy. And they say, no, this is good. No, it's not good. You have to have landlord insurance. So why is that important?
Homeowners insurance is issued not just based on the type of property, but also based on how it's being used. Is it owner occupied? Is it tenant occupied on a long-term rental basis? Is it short-term vacation rental? Is it vacant? Is it under construction? So it's not just on the type of property, but also on how it's being used.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's say, because this can happen, I've seen it happen before. Let's say somebody wants to do short-term vacation rentals, and they tell their carrier, they just get a little sloppy in their communication with the carrier, and they say, hey, we're a landlord, we're going to be renting out our property. But they don't say anything about Airbnb rentals or short-term rentals. And then they have a claim. What's going to happen in that type of scenario?
It probably depends on the type of claim that is being handled, but the insurance company may come back and say, the current use of the property doesn't meet the guidelines of the policy that we issued you. You have a owner-occupied homeowners policy, but you're running the property as an Airbnb. There are additional risks that come up when you're running a short-term vacation rental property that don't exist on a long-term rental or a owner-occupied property, and some carriers simply don't want to be in that line of business.
Okay, so it's important they tell the insurance carrier up front, we're doing short-term Airbnb vacation rentals. They have to disclose that and make sure that you or whoever finds a company that will insure that.
Exactly. You want to make sure that the policy that you have is in line with how you're using the property.
Okay.
So that you don't have a claim get declined.
Or cancel. They could cancel the policy too, right?
Both. They could decline coverage and cancel you.
Yeah, that's be lovely. What about real estate transactions? It's a big deal now. When somebody's buying a home, can they get insurance on that home? So how's all this business affecting real estate transactions?
Well, as you know, the Association of Realtors updated the purchase agreement to include an insurance contingency now. That oftentimes in the past was sort of the last box to get checked. People would run through the transaction and just make the phone call the day before they're closing, get an insurance policy. It's not necessarily that simple anymore. So ideally, people should be shopping for insurance early in their transaction. That way they get their arms around the potential cost of the policy and give them more time to check around and make sure that they're getting the type of policy that they need.
Well, if nothing else, we know insurance is a complicated subject. There's lots of moving parts here. You really need to know your stuff. But as a homeowner, as a landlord, you don't really need to know all the details. You just need to know the guy that does know the details. And that's Dane. So if you want to get in touch with Dane, reach out to me. I'll hook you guys up, and he can take care of all your insurance needs. So
Thanks, Greg.
All right. Thank you, Dane. Thanks for listening.